So my next guest is about to set out on a grueling journey. He's going to be climbing to the highest points of all 15 UK national parks. Not only, as well, is he going to be carrying a 26 kilogram postbox, but I believe he might also be wearing flip-flops. There are many questions. Hopefully, Stu Skinner can answer them all. Hello, Stu.
Hi there, good afternoon.
Hi. Where are you at the moment? What's going on with you? Where are you?
At Stratton Marketry HQ down in Cornwall. I'm doing up a van, which will be my mobile home whilst I undertake this challenge, hopefully, anyway.
Ah, I see. So you're going to be, travelling around in your camper van, is that right?
It's just a shell of a van. It's no camper at the moment. It's just a van, but we're doing it up at the moment. Still a long way to go, but yeah, just thought it makes sense to, as I'm going to be on the road for just over 3 months, I thought it'd be nice to experience van life for a bit and see our beautiful country.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about exactly what you're doing and why, because I feel like I've skated around the issue just a little bit, but tell us what you're doing and why you're doing it.
So I'm taking this postbox up to the highest point in all 15 national parks to hopefully conquer loneliness. I guess my mission is to spark meaningful connections and conversations for better mental health. It's a big part of what I've been doing the last 20 years. I went to a charity auction and woke up with a postbox, not intentionally. And I thought I could do something with it. And for me, a postbox has always been a symbol of community and connection. And I thought it would be a good way to I guess galvanize people, get people to join me on these hikes, and also potentially send postcards from the peaks to people they think might be experiencing loneliness or could do with a message of hope.
Why did you start on this journey about loneliness, if you see what I mean? Was there something happening in your life at the time? Because it sounds like if you've been doing this for 20 years, it might be way in the past now. But what inspired you in the first place?
I think it wasn't necessarily loneliness to begin with. I live with depression and anxiety and have been a big mental health advocate and campaigner and public speaker. But I think in the last few years, in particular since the pandemic and a difficult breakup, I started to experience chronic loneliness, which also 7% of the UK population, identifies experiencing. It's something that was really affecting my life at the time. And I just thought, why not? Maybe this postbox can bring my life a little bit more of joy, a little bit more connection, and maybe even bring some other people some more joy and connection into their lives. So that's really kind of the aim with that. And I guess my why.
I think the concept of loneliness is quite complicated, actually. I think some people think, oh, well, if you're lonely, get out there, do something, meet people, join a club. People have got lots of solutions, haven't they, for loneliness? But actually, at the same time, if you're also experiencing anxiety, if you're maybe not feeling confident, loneliness can spiral, I guess. Is that fair to say?
I think it's definitely to say, these things can perpetuate conditions like depression, anxiety, which in themselves are very isolating and lonely, which then fuels the loneliness. It's, you can get caught up in a spiral, but I think people don't realize there's different kinds of loneliness. There's emotional loneliness, which is perhaps when you go through a separation, a breakup or bereavement. There's that social loneliness, which is maybe not having that social network that perhaps you might want. And then there's existential loneliness, where I think a lot of people are experiencing at the moment, where they find that their life doesn't have much meaning and purpose. So it's a lot more complex than simply being alone. Being alone doesn't imply that you're lonely. Lonely is perhaps feeling like you don't have your social needs being met or all those connections being met.
Yeah. Do you, or have you always found that going walking has been a help for your mental health and maybe meeting other people?
Yeah, definitely. I've hiked the Appalachian Trail, which is the 2,000-mile trail in the US, and I really got a strong sense of community there. I've also hiked the Camino, and I think, community is formed. I think traditionally we think it's, where you live, but, the root word is common, and communities are formed when you find things in common with people, when you can build a community around something like walking. And for me, I've always found my community when walking, and I always feel less alone when I'm in nature. I think people have a strong attachment when they're out in the hills, the mountains, in the forests, or on the ocean. So I think there's some kind of connection there, which helps people with loneliness too.
Well, you certainly seem to be putting yourself out there. If you're going to climb to the highest point of all 15 of the UK's national parks, how long has it taken you to sort of to plan this? Has it been in the offing for a long time?
No, I think since November is when the original idea came up, and I guess still kind of I've decided the routes, but still working on the logistics and what time we should meet and where we should meet. And life happens, doesn't it? I've moved out my home. I'm doing van life and converting that, so it's been quite hectic and busy, but things are getting in place. I have a website and details will be put up on there. So I feel like I'm getting there. And the first mountain's in 12 days. So I really do need to kind of speed things along.
Oh gosh, well I'll let you go shortly, but but I think you would like people to get involved in whatever way they can. So can they join you on the walks? And can you just explain a little bit more about this postcard thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would love for people to join me on their walks and, communicate and connect with those people. And hopefully they can connect with people from diverse backgrounds. So all the walks are open to anyone. But also, people can't participate in the walks. There is an online form on the website where people can send a postcard, and I will typewrite it in one of the parks or peaks. Or people if they're experiencing loneliness. And I found a lot of people using the online form to receive a postcard written from me on one of the peaks. So you have a choice either to send a postcard or to receive one that's been written by me.
So you're carting around a postbox and a typewriter.
I think the typewriter's going to stay in the van. Oh, it might be a little bit bonkers, but I don't think I'm that bonkers to carry both. But
No.
We'll see.
Exactly. I think it's a really lovely idea. And are there any routes that you're particularly worried about? Because clearly you're going everywhere. So, I mean, closest to us, of course, the Yorkshire Dales and the Yorkshire Moors. You're going all over the place. But where are you thinking, that's going to be quite the challenge?
I mean, it would first. Snowdon is quite a tough one to start on, so that is the first one. But I think the two ones in Scotland and Scaffold Pikes are kind of the bigger ones with, I guess, more trickier terrain. Scaring me a little, but
well, particularly
we'll see. That's part of the adventure.
Particularly if you're not just walking in flip flops. Please tell me that's just on your downtime.
No, I've got a chronic Achilles condition, but I've actually climbed Kilimanjaro twice in my flip-flops.
No.
So, yeah. I have. So I've got no choice. It's either hike and flip-flops or I don't hike at all. So flip-flops it is. And I guess a big part of my identity as well.
Wow. But I mean, there's there is so much to this. There really is. I mean, the whole thing is called Postcards from the Peaks. So I would say if anybody's interested in finding out a little bit more, maybe they could have a look at your website, which is postcardsfrompeaks.com. And you can see all of the, all of the destinations. You can learn a little bit more. I mean, are you fundraising as well?
Yes, I'm the founder of Head Outside, which, is a charity that is very much my mission is to spark meaningful connections and conversations for better mental health. So we will be fundraising for Head Outside as we go along. And we do have the Head Outside Awards in November, which is a big part of what I do as well.
Right. And I can't remember exactly where you said you're based, but have you come up to Yorkshire much before?
I do, yes. I've got a lot of connections to Halifax. I used to work with Burberry in Leeds. So, I have a strong connection to Yorkshire. It's a special place in my heart. So, really, really looking forward to my time up there.
Dare I ask, what was like previous career? What did you used to do?
So I was an expedition leader, so I guess it kind of makes sense. I used to take people on adventurous journeys and treks all over the world. And recently I've been delivering mental health training. So I've worked with organisations in Yorkshire.
Amazing. Well, you sound absolutely amazing. You're ready to go. When does it start? Is it the end of the month?
Yep, 31st of May is the first one, Earwood Fir,
Okay.
Snowdon. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Oh, well, we are looking forward to seeing how you get on with this. Stu Skinner, thank you so much for coming on. We started, before we got you on, we were playing Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder. And because of the postbox, we're now going to play you out with Over My Shoulder by Mike and the Mechanics. Hopefully you won't need a mechanic and the van will be all right. Stu, thank you so much for coming on. Lovely to talk to you. You take
Bless you,
care.
thank you.
Thank you, bye.